Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general readings for the 8th through the 14th of July. I did link in the description box below the astrology for this week. I do go pretty extensively into Chiron being retrograde and what that means for us. It's going to be retrograde a long transit, 157 days between July and December. So I do go into that, but for now, this is for our Sagittarius friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Remember, general messages, don't try to make them fit if they don't. The energies can always be flip-flop, vice versa. And you definitely want to check your rising sign and moon sign at least, okay? And Venus, if you have the time to do that for the fullest messages. Okay, Sagittarius. Be doing a Celtic cross spread first. We'll throw some astro dice, pull an astro card, and then at the end, guys, I'm going to do a love read as well. In addition, to add to this, I'm going to interpret the Celtic cross having to do with relationship and career, family connection, whatever comes up. But the extended at the end is going to be for love only. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what we have going on for our Sagittarius friends. Let's throw the astro dice. Okay, so we have Mars, second house, and we have Sagittarius. It's so funny, Mars is coming up so much. Mars is just going to be such a big player for us, right? From between July and September. I'm not going to do that Mars reading though until it goes retrograde in September, but it's time to lean into conflict and figure out what's wrong with this picture, Sag. Like, what is wrong with that job? What's wrong with the relationship? What's wrong with that friendship, that family connection? What is it? What's going on? And remember that anger is a normal response to any kind of transgression, whether it's somebody reacting to you or you reacting, right? We should respond instead of react, but whatever. To a situation, but really working with the facts towards righteousness is important rather than the need to win. Here is the energy that I'm getting. And then we have Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is that 8th house energy, and here we have to know, it's 9th house energy, so belief system. It's where the South Node is right now. So this is calling for you to notice where you've built up walls and borders in your life, and really summons the curiosity and the courage to pull them down and try to get in touch best you can with what false narratives do you tell yourself about yourself or about someone else, and really have faith and optimism and questioning life and taking a new and more authentic path in your life, because that's what Sagittarius is, right? It's that fresh perspective moving forward with integrity, right? It's ruled by Jupiter. Those fabulous energies. The second house has to do with resources. Okay, so this tells me that when we get this in a role, this tells me that there's some sort of gift that you possess that you're not fully exploiting. So you really have to tap into however you're supposed to be the most authentic version of yourself in relationship, the most authentic and profound version of yourself in that career. Finding the flow for you, whatever that means. It's going to be different for each of us, right? Whatever that means. Really tapping into your talents, gifts, and abilities in a way that allows you to feel in the flow of something. And we know what the flow means, right? The flow in a relationship is when we feel like, yeah, everything is just going really beautifully in this relationship. We feel so in love. Everything's going well. Awesome. Same thing with the job. You're making money. You're feeling good about what you're doing. You like what you do. Like being in the flow, right? You just feel really connected to that friendship, whatever it is. But there's something going on within you right now that you're not bringing out to the surface for some reason. You're keeping it under wraps for now. You're almost like in a protective way. Or maybe you're unsure of it. But you're not bringing it to the surface in the way that you should be. Not even going to say in the way that you can, in the way that you should be. There's something that of benefit, right, for you to bring to the surface. Then we have the moon, yeah. Isn't that funny? Because the moon is that what we feel when we're alone inside of ourselves, right? The moon is deep inside. It's what we don't let people see. So, and I do feel like that there is something that's inside of you that you're not bringing out, that you're keeping under wraps, you're keeping under the surface right now. Having to do with that relationship, having to do with that career, whatever it is, however you're resonating with this. So let's get right into this. Coming into this energy, I say this is the recent past. It could have been, yesterday, last week, last year. Tarot does not understand time the way the planets do, the way astrology does. So it goes according to your energy. So the Four of Wands, this is the honeymoon card. This is a great energy. It's a Venus and Aries, so this is about strong foundation. Feeling very firmly footed on a new path that you were venturing on, having to do with that career, having to do with that relationship, whatever it was. You had this feeling of that you were going in the right direction. For sure. The current situation right now, we have the Princess of Cups, which is really nice, and the Ace of Swords. So there's this newness here. It's definitely a newness. So we have the Princess of Cups. This is an Aquarius and Pisces energy. So this is something different. Sag, I do feel like that you're involved in something different. Now, if this has to do with a relationship, this could be you and your partner, if you are in a long-term relationship, you and your partner being in a different space. Or at least this is what is necessary right now in your current situation. As Aquarius is doing something out of the box, different than the way that you normally have been doing it. And Pisces is where you dare to go in that dream space, right? It's that 12th house energy. It's where we allow ourselves to dream and fantasize about what it is that we really want. The cups have to do with emotion. It really does indicate a sharing of emotion. So it could be a sharing of this strong desire to have something be different in the relationship. That's for those of you who are in relationship. For those of you not in relationship, this can be somebody coming in. It's a court energy, right? It's a court card, right? So we have to understand this is either you, another person, or a general energy. This could be somebody coming in and offering you their cup. Somebody who's very different than anyone that you've typically been with, even if it's only in personality alone, that would end up inciting a very different type of relationship than any kind that you've had before. On a very literal level, this could be somebody from a different culture, a different ethnicity, somebody from a different religious background, something like that, right? Because Aquarius is somebody different than what we're used to going after, different from us anyway, but it being really, really beautiful. Now we have the Ace of Swords. Ace always indicates something new, air. Swords is an air energy, so there's a communication, there's truth here. So I do like this because this does indicate new communication having to do with something new. So for those of you who are in a relationship, this could have to do with you guys sitting down and having a conversation about how you're going to be approaching your life from a new perspective in a new way moving forward. Those of you not in relationship, this can indicate you communicating with somebody brand new and somebody inciting this interest in you, communicating that they have feelings for you. If this has to do with career, this can indicate communication coming in about a new job, a new opportunity, some sort of new business connection, project, or something even coming to you in the way of the internet, because it is an air energy. Air is Mercury. Mercury does rule the communication that we have online. Doesn't rule technology, that's Uranus, but it does rule the communication that we have online. So this can also be for many of you, because this is general message, so I'm going to give a number of interpretations of it. For many of you, you discovering something online that really resonates with you, that you want to do, that you're like, oh my gosh, I would love doing that. I would love it. And you trying to be very proactive on that. So that's the situation right now. So the crowning energy, we have the Knight of Coins. Okay, so the Knight of Coins is a Leo and Virgo energy, and I really like this energy for a couple of reasons, but I love the combination of Leo and Virgo because Leo is that fifth house energy, and it's ruled by the sun, and the fifth house is the house of fun. And that means that when I see it with Virgo, I always understand this as a kind of like, well, in one way with career, which I'm going to give to you first. Because Leo is our fifth house of fun, it's what we do that we really enjoy, that we really resonate with. Yes, it's also lovers. Yes, it's also boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, what we do with our partners on a Monday through Sunday deal. It's but our connection with our children as well, children in our life. Now think about that for a moment, because kids are things that we bear them, and we nurture them, we cultivate them, and we grow them, right? We do the same thing with businesses, right? So there is this crossing over energetically between, our ability to nurture and cultivate something and what it is that we really love to do. And that is typically the foundation of any sort of entrepreneurial enterprise, any sort of new idea that we want to birth, that we want to get into, right? Particularly if we have to do with career. So what I like about this energy, though, together with Virgo, because Virgo is a coin energy, it's a Mercury energy. So I do feel like it's this marrying up of what you like to do with money, the ability to make money, and maybe in communication and some sort of connection about the coming together of some sort of idea that you're cultivating. For those of you in the space of coming up with some sort of new business venture, business idea for a career, anything like that, really great energy. If this has to do with relationship, it's the same thing, right? Because in a similar way, because Leo, that fifth house energy, also does rule love affairs, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of relationships, though, guys, not marital. That's more seventh house. But what it is that you really love to do, but in a very practical and pragmatic way. Somebody coming in a very practical and pragmatic way, because that's Virgo, coming in and saying, I have these feelings for you. This is what my intention, and them expressing the intention. Because coins is not only about money and resources, it's about mental, physical, and emotional connection as well. And the Knight is always coming in and taking charge of things, right? And Leo is about that ego energy, and it's about coming in and sort of taking control of the situation and making this announcement sort of thing, right? So for those of you not in a relationship, this can indicate somebody new that you're meeting. For those of you who are in relationships already, this does tell me that you guys are going to be communicating and connecting on a much deeper level right now. This is very positive so far for me, because look what the foundation is. Beautiful. 10 of Cups, come on. Come on, who doesn't love the 10 of Cups? Mars and Pisces. We all love this. Mars is the ruler of Aries. Aries is all about a new path, a new level, turning the page in a beautiful way. Pisces is about letting yourself go there. It's Mars in Pisces, and Pisces is that dream space. And really feeling that gumption to push that dream forward, deepening of commitment, deepening of connection, really healthy communication. If this has to do with a job, this is a very benefic energy. This is where you and a business partner or colleagues, whoever you're working with, being on the same page. And you just guys, you know what I mean? Kind of being in the flow, like what I was mentioning before, being in the flow. Very, very benefic energy. And it's just feeling like on a soul level, like it's the right thing, right? Because cups are emotions. It's just feeling like, yeah, this is the result of putting in the hard work, right? You're putting in work in order to get the 10 of Cups. It doesn't just happen. It's one cup at a time over time is put up there. So I really like that. You right now, you're just feeling all kinds of good. Look at you. 6 of Wands, beautiful. Success, respect, fabulous. That's 6 of Wands. So you, regardless of what's going on in your life, you are viscerally feeling a certain level of success right now, Sag, for those of you resonating with this. Even if it's just like what you're feeling about what you're moving into, or just some aspect in your life, you're feeling very successful. So like, even if your relationships aren't going so great, your job is going fabulous, or if your relationship is fabulous, maybe you're feeling hopeful about getting into a new career, something like that. But look, we get the Fool as the external energy, man. This is nice, because this is Uranus. This is the future. This is an uncharted territory, taking a calculated risk and it going really well. This is external to you right now. There's really nothing negative about this at all. Nothing for me to add here. This is you taking a chance on something new. Whether it's that new relationship that's coming in, whether it's a new position, a new perspective having to do with career. There's definitely newness here. There's no question, between the Ace of Swords and we have, forget it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we have new stuff coming here. Your fear, and this is your fear. Is that you're not ultimately going to be as supported as you would like to. So if this has to do with career, you're afraid that you might not make all the money that you need to, or that you want to. If this has to do with the relationship, you're afraid, are they going to have my back in the way that I really need to have somebody have my back? Am I going to be able to reciprocate that, what they need? And it's this idea of, of connection, of I have your back, you have mine, but this is in your fear space, but it's not real. It could be real to you as a fear, but it's fear. It's psychological. So now we have the Eight of Swords energy. So something's going on here, right? Because the Eight of Swords energy is this, obviously you could say her perception of feeling very trapped in thoughts, are the thoughts that she has of herself or thoughts that she believes somebody else has of her. And this isn't gender specific. I'm just saying her because female on the card. Okay? But this is a Jupiter in Gemini. So when we have to pay attention to the prepositions too when we're connecting this to astrology, because it's Jupiter. Jupiter is a very benefic energy, but when it's in a planet, it expands what that planet is about. So this is about the expansion of the Geminian energy. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? It's all about communication, contracts, things going on, communication, right? So it's this expansion of communication, though, in such a way that becomes very confusing to you, very overwhelming. What's expected of you? Who expects what from you? What do you expect from yourself? What do you expect from situations? Are you expecting too much from yourself? Are people expecting too much? Are people not understanding you in the way that you need to be understood? And you're trying to figure all that out. And it's very much like the self-imprisonment kind of thing where it's not real. Again, this is a very mental energy, but it's your thought process, and you need to get in touch with why you feel like that, and who are you allowing to have that element of control over you, or is it just the other side of yourself, right? Because we all have the yin and yang aspects within us. So figuring that out. But I do see you making a decision to walk away from something, Sagittarius. Eight of Cups. You are walking away from something that you don't consider to be very healthy for you. So what I see happening here, right, going all the way back to the beginning with this Princess of Cups and the Ace of Swords, I do feel like there was something that you were involved in that you left. You're involved in something different now, or you're becoming involved in something different. I don't care if it's a career, if it's a relationship, it's a friendship, some sort of new connection. But you're all about respect and success, and you're extremely focused on that, and you're extremely focused on a new path and a new perspective. So the implication here, the direct implication whenever we have the Fool energy, is that in order for you to be going into uncharted territory or onto the unbeaten path, taking that, the Fool always implicates that you're leaving something. We're trying something new anyway. So you're needing to open up a new path for yourself. And you're feeling this, I'm not even going to say resistance about it, but this concern about it with the Eight of Swords energy. But the Eight of Cups is leaving something that you view as toxic, right? It's the Saturn and Pisces energy. So it's recognizing that something that you were involved in became too heavy, too challenging. The structure of it became too heavy. There was too much delay, too much holding back, right? And it just became too challenging for you to see it as something that would ultimately help you reach your goal, help you have the relationship that you want, help you have that career that you see for yourself. And it's you making the decision to leave and you feeling sad about it, but you in the end not regretting it as long as you handle it with grace. And that is the huge caveat with this, because I have to tell you, Sag, this is the kind of energy that if you're not careful, it can create some nasty karma for you in the future. It really can. This is not a good energy to ghost somebody in. Don't just go ghost. If you're not feeling it in the relationship, communicate in a respectful manner and let them know. Then if they become like manic or incessant in their, desire to communicate with you, where it borderlines on harassment, that's different. Then okay, fine. At that point, then you cut them off. But this is not a good energy to like ghost somebody in, to just, up and quit out of nowhere. Communicate. Communication is really important, and to have grace. So, and if you do that, there's going to be a very beautiful release of this. It's going to be very low drama if you communicate effectively, and you're going to be moving into this. I feel like you've already checked out, first of all, of whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whatever it was that you're leaving, like I feel like you checked out even before this Four of Wands energy, if that makes sense. So yeah, but you really moving towards something that is much better for you, because it's something that you're identifying as something that you really, really want. So whether it's that relationship, whether it's just being single and on your own and having peace for a bit, whether it's this new career or a new path within your chosen career, whatever it is, I see it as really, really positive. So I like that. But I feel like, you know, going back to the astro dice, this idea inside of you, I feel like that's what's keeping you in that Eight of Swords energy that's inciting the Eight of Cups. It's like this thing that you're feeling that you're not able to release, and you don't want to hold it inside anymore. You can't hold it inside anymore. You just need to do something different. This newness is just all over the place, just really beckoning you for this newness, this new beginning. Seeing the true you. Okay, this is nice. I mean, guys, this is really about seeing the true you is what it is. So sometimes we believe what others tell us we are, right? As though this self we see reflected back to us through their eyes is some kind of truth. Yet, you know, the accuracy of a reflection depends on the clarity of that which is doing the reflecting, right? So if the receiver forms any sort of opinion about what's perceived, then what's reflected back to us will at the very best be distorted, right? You follow? Like, somebody saying that their perception of us is A, B, and C. It's only through their eyes. It doesn't make it real, right? It doesn't make it real, and it's not necessarily through malice or anything. It's just the mechanics of a situation. Even the moon reflects the sun in varying degrees of fullness and clarity, right? We can learn something of nature from the sun and moon, but not as much as through actual like 3D perception, right? So it's this thing about perception, and I do feel like this, especially, you know, with that Eight of Swords energy going into the Eight of Cups, I feel like that this has something to do with that, because I feel like on some level you've been putting too much faith in the reflection that others have of you, to a point where you might not be honoring all that you are and all that you're becoming, because you're not believing in yourself, or you haven't been believing in yourself enough, having to do with that career choice, having to do with that relationship. Maybe somebody keeps deflecting and even gaslighting and telling you that you're certain you're A, B, and C in this relationship, and you know that not to be your truth, and you just can't stay in that anymore. Somebody's saying A, B, and C about how you are in that career, and you know you can't be in that level of truth anymore, that's just not who you are. It's not true to you anymore. And I see you moving on. I see you moving on in the Fool energy. Absolutely. Because you can fight the Luna energy for just so long. We can only fight for just so long that which, you know, boils underneath our surface. It's only a matter of time before it reverses, and we have to let whatever's, you know, in the underneath out when we're talking about the Moon energy. So you do see that, yeah. So that's what I have for this part, okay? So we're going to do some extended having to do with the love read. So for those of you not interested in any additional love messages, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week, the rest of you. Let's pull some love oracles, okay? And Island Time Wellness. We'll pull the Shadowscape Tarot as qualifiers at the end, but we'll start with the love oracles. Okay, that guy wanted to come out. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Be the unicorn. Be the unicorn. Passion. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Romantic feelings. Okay. Coffee cup, coffin, endings bring new beginnings. Exactly what we were just talking about. Interesting. Cupid's arrow. I like you. Yep. There's newness coming in. There's no question. If you're not resonating with that, and this is not your leg of the message, because there is definitely some newness coming in here on a visceral level, because this, I always understand, this is our emotional space. Four of Pentacles, yes, releasing, letting go, and figuring out, letting go and moving forward. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Eight of Wands, okay, feeling that passion. Then we have the Hermit energy, Virgo. Some of you might be dealing with a Virgo. Okay, so free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. I feel like this is very connected to the Hermit energy as well. And we have passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. I mean, this is just like allowing yourself to go there, allowing yourself to feel passion. We have very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And we have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So if anybody's been trying to discount how you feel, your feelings are valid. Now, we have Coffee cup. Coffee cup is meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, friendship. Coffin. Endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transition. Not easy, but necessary. Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming. Surprise, invitation, or meeting, hesitation. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Fun, flirting, want a date. And we have Four of Pentacles. This is releasing something from the past and allowing this new energy in. This is a really nice energy. This is feeling a little self-protected initially. Four of Pentacles is the card of protection. You know, we call this the miserly energy sometimes, but it's not closing yourself down totally. It's allowing somebody in. It's allowing somebody in. It is allowing. But it's you being very self-protective in the process, protective of self in the process, which is understandable. But then we have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is the wish fulfillment energy, right? It's Jupiter and Pisces, beautiful energy. And then we have the Eight of Wands, Mercury and Sagittarius. So it's Mercury in Sag. Mercury has to do with communication. Sagittarius has to do about moving forward with integrity. It's ruled by Jupiter, which is all about luck and expansion. So there's some sort of communication that's going to be coming in, for sure. I do see this. But I see you in this space, Sag, right now, initially, of you just sort of getting your soul together. Because the Hermit energy is taking the mental space to do a lot of thinking. To do, really doing a lot of thinking right now, on your own. But and just a lot of deep introspection, speaking to a confidant, that who you trust. In the upright, it is you speaking to at least one person who you feel very close to, a close friend, a therapist, maybe a family member. But really doing some really healthy assessing over what it is that you need, why you feel the way you do. And what I like about this is I don't feel like you're going to be jumping into anything, but I, without question, can see that there is someone new waiting right there for you. There's no question, especially with the Celtic cross spread, if that resonated with you as a relationship, to have that full energy is the external energy. It can indicate you being ready for a new path, just in general. But because of the other energies, the other cup energies that we got, I do feel like there is this beautiful, positive energy right there for you. I feel like you were with somebody who did not fully appreciate you for who you are. I'm not saying that because I'm talking to you. I'm not like that. I'm just getting that whoever you were with didn't fully appreciate you in the way that you need. Didn't recognize the gifts that you bring to the table. I do see that. But I see you in a space of healing and opening yourself up and somebody new coming in. We have Cupid's arrow and I like you. I mean, there's no question. It's passion, Nine of Cups, I mean, there's somebody new coming in. There's somebody new. And to be honest with you, I don't see you having that hard a time. Not that it's without a sad heart, not that you're happy to move on from something, but you very, like, absolutely recognizing that something reached its expiration date in the way that it was. In the way that it was could not continue anymore. And that's, you know, that's what I'm seeing here. So something beautiful and new happening. Yeah. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful or validating in some way. I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.